This one time I put on Injustice for All by Metallica. And I just remembered that I needed to know how to play that on guitar. That opening riff, Blackened. Nah, not that. That's when I knew.
As silly as it sounds, I remember, like, in that same kind of era for me, like 10 max, but I remember my parents, like, calling me and my brother in to watch this thing on TV. They're like, look at these guys, look what they're doing. And it was Van Halen, Jump. And they're, like, jumping around with their guitars, like, super slow motion. They look real cool. And I remember just thinking that was, like, the coolest thing I ever saw. And then after that, like, I always had this play guitar in my hand all the time, and I was always jumping off stuff with it. So I kind of feel like that was probably the start of it.
My oldest brother used to listen to like a lot of Metallica. So I remember like listening to the lyrics and being like, this is so awesome. And writing like poems, writing songs and being like, I could sing this like that. Like I could totally, this could be a Metallica song. When I was like in 3rd grade, we had to do a thing where we had to bring in a poem or a song. And I brought in lyrics my brother printed out for me of a Tool song. And the school called my parents and they had to come in and like discuss why I was listening to that type of music at home. And I guess like even then I was just like, yeah, that's cool that it's cool that it bothered people. It's cool that it was weird. Most of our records, I think, the themes of the songs revolve around different relationships with each other, relationships with yourself and your family. The music or art that you're making really can't help but reflect slightly what's going on around you. We've always been a band that's, I feel like, had more symbolism, you know, than just direct, you know, like statement in the band. I think maybe having children is in a more honest place artistically. Financing this record ourselves really made it something that was less stress, and it enabled us to be a lot more experimental. It totally forced us to learn how to compromise with each other. When you're working with a producer or you have an A&R guy around, once in a while you can defer to them when there's an indecisive moment. You can just be like, tell us what we're supposed to do. You're the one that has to sell it, you know. What do we do here? And this time it was like, well, we're the ones that have to sell it. So we really had to learn how to take compromise and creative compromise a step further than we ever had, and learn how to, you know, make a decision together, even if somebody was going to be butthurt about it and it wasn't going to be, you know, something they wanted. It was like, we have to fucking move on. We have to continue because time is running out. So definitely forced us to be to work together in a healthier and more constructive way. I put on a concert for my parents in my basement where I lip synced to the song Kokomo by the Beach Boys. It was around the time where Cocktail came out, and that was like a big hit single. And yeah, my brothers called me Kokomo for 10 years.
don't remember.
I remember my dad listening to the Beatles, and mostly the slide guitar from that. For some reason, that always stuck with me, and that's what I associated the Beatles with for many years, was a really unique slide guitar tone. I was like 4 years old or something.
You were just like, that slide kicks ass.
I didn't know what a slide was. I just thought it was a...
And George Harrison's fingers are smooth.
They're smooth. That's creepy for a 4-year-old to say.
How long have you worked as a chef?
I started working here in March. I was working at a shop on Park Slope before, and I live in Greenpoint, so
Okay.